Hi guys, sorry I didn't put anything up, I think yesterday or 2 days or something. Very exciting here. We found a couple of cars for Stephanie, so she's got a neon that she's been working on to redo, and then we found a 1981 Fiat Spider convertible that she's going to redo. It's kind of got a lot of problems with it, but she is determined that she can fix it and get it up so it's sellable. So when she gets her cars done, especially her first one, I'll shoot you guys a picture of it so you can see what she's doing. It's kind of exciting. Okay, well, I thought that I'd spend a little bit more time on the fifth dimension, and I want to reiterate that to me and to us on the other side, there is no third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. I'm using those terms to try to communicate with y'all. So based on what I see out there and people talking about, that is how I'm fitting them in. Like I've told you before, I think that third and fourth dimensions are very similar, only the fourth dimension is like Earth, only on a much bigger scale. So there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of energy grabbing. Genetics is a big thing, and humans have really sought after genetics because we've been seeded. Humans have been seeded with so many different races that's created kind of a genetic gold mine. So from that regard, there's a lot of cool places with cities in fourth dimension. Floating cities are out there. A lot of different alien groups that you could meet and learn stuff from. So if you're still in a phase of wanting to learn and experience from a more third dimensional standpoint, you will learn in fourth dimension how to manipulate time and space. So traveling through space long distances will no longer take decades or lifetimes. That'll be over. And space, as you know, it will be significantly changed. A lot of your basic physics and math will change quite a bit. There'll also be a whole bunch of new spiritual teachings or religions per se that you can be introduced to in the fourth dimension. Like I've said before, lots and lots and lots of computer stuff going into the AI area, all the way to good AIs, all the way to really scary AIs. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of space travel, so spaceships on one side, and the other side more an energy bubble or teleportation you'll be introduced to all that. Machines that manufacture food, so there's no food shortage anymore. Ways of collecting water, so there's no water storage anymore. That there's not a lot of the issues that 3D Earth has will be solved. A lot of the issues on the problems on the planet can be solved, like garbage. There's machines, and on one side there's machines that can get rid of that stuff. On the other side there are angels or ascended masters or beings that on the other side that can teach you how to transmute that garbage into something else. All of those things will give you practice to get into 5D. So not only is it really fun practice, but you get to learn things and you get to have really good experiences. So I'm not staying in 4D because that's not what my path is. It's not what I've decided to do, but I encourage any of you that if any of those things I just talked about sound like fun, then go ahead and stay in 4D. Set your focus and your intent on 4D. Now I will tell you that in 4D, Jehovah God is there and Satan is there. Angels are there. Demons are there. Bunch of different kinds of alien races that you would consider benevolent, and then a whole bunch of alien races that are not so benevolent. The service to other side believe that the only way you can get anything done or ascend or get out of the karmic loop or karmic ladder is to serve others. And they have pretty strict guidelines on how to get there, and they've each got their ideas on the way that should be done, and be successful in raising your vibrations. The service to self people are all about hierarchy. So you work up, and they're a patriarchy. So you work up through the service to self side based on how you do your job, or how you can make the other guy who's ahead of you or the one that's in competition with you look bad, so you can move up in the ranks. It can be mellow setup. It can be not so bad, more like, your average American business, big business, to all the way over in the really lower vibrations of 4D, where it's very cutthroat, very old-fashioned England kingdom, or Roman Empire, where you cut the throat of the person who has the job you want so that you can get the job you want. So you position yourself well, and you either get rid of them by cunning or murder or whatever it takes, really. On the very, very far end, well, it's whatever it takes. And everybody knows that. So everybody plays the game with those same kind of rules and those same kind of thinking and belief systems. Okay? So now we're going to go to 5D again. And I'm going to continue to talk about 5D as I come up with things to tell you. So 5D, when you first transition over, there is a crisscross like this of 4D and 5D. And it's like this, and there is both there at the same time. As the top end of 4D merges, overlaps the lower vibrations of 5D. But when you get past this overlapping thing, and you get over to like right here, then you're going to start to settle. And when you get all the way over here, let's say it's this long, that long, so when you get halfway, like right here, and the merging is like right here, then you get up to about halfway. Then you're like completely, and you can do that stage from this to halfway. You can do that really, really, really fast, or you can take your time and do it very slowly. You can do it with the assistance of a lot of people that will be in 5D, on 5D Earth, that will be more than willing to help you learn how to do it yourself. But as I've said before, in 4D and 3D, it's about somebody else ruling. Somebody else knows better than you do. Whether it's government or spirituality or education or money management, in 4D and 3D, there's somebody else that's kind of running the show in your life in just about every area. And that stays true in 4D like it was in 3D. Only now it has gone to much broader spectrum of how that works out in 4D, so it becomes much bigger. So instead of having just two options that are very rigid, 4D you have many options on both sides as far as extremities, extremeness. Extremeness? Is that a word? So you've got service to self, just barely service to self. And if you go up and down, now you've got service to self and service to others crossing like this at a line in the sand. And so if you are in service to self, then there's going to be the one that's right here that's really not that bad and not much different than these guys over here. Very similar. Then the further out you get, the more extreme. Now I'm using out and in just because I have to, because we're in human land right now. So, but in reality, there is no, here or there, up and down, now and tomorrow. So, but on the ends of this spectrum are extreme service to self in every which way possible, and extreme service to others in every which way possible. And how that plays out is very complicated, and there's many, many, many games to play. On Earth, the entity that is you might have, even though I'm talking to mostly starseeds, and you haven't, but if there's any humans watching, you have spent probably thousands of lifetimes on the planet Earth, just having as many experiences as you can from every perspective that you can. That's why you go back and go back and go back. So when you get to 4D, it is very, very likely that you could have millions of lifetimes in the fourth dimension and still have plenty of room to go back and do more. There's just a lot available as far as experience pool goes. A lot of stories that you can jump into. Now, when you go to 5D and we cross over that midline, then you lose time-space illusion. The illusion of time and space will be gone. So then you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. Until you get to that point where still you know that time is an illusion. Most of you believe that time is an illusion, and time and space is illusion. But in 5D, you will know it. You will know it. And right now, you can't really know it because you just can't wrap your head around it. It's kind of like me saying, well, you will live forever. Your mind goes to a certain point, 100 years, 200 years, 300, 500, 1900, 10,000, and you keep going, 100,000, billion, trillion, quadrillion, quintuplet, zillion, I don't know. The biggest number that you can think of, and then you try to go beyond that, and you can't. Your mind just goes, ka-tink. Try it, you'll see what I mean. And it's the same way with the no time thing, because you are in the time-space illusion. So you're just going to have to trust me on that. That when you get to that, then everything's going to be in the now. Now, on 4D Earth, it is what a 3D human would look at 5D Earth, and they would see magic. They would see magic everywhere. Because whenever you're a creator god on a planet, and there's a number of you, which there will be, and you have instant manifestation based on your experience on Earth in 3D and 4D, even though 4D was limited, then you will be able to access whatever you want. So, you can create it in an instant in front of you. Okay. Now, Earth will be completely natural. Everything will be cleaned up. Water. Everybody will be back. All of the marine life, all of the other animals, they'll all be back. And everything will be, that is actually in the Bible too, where it says the new earth, and it talks about the lion laying down with the lamb. That's that no fear thing. And the no fear thing is everything. It has no fear. Everything has no fear. Bacteria doesn't have fear. Grass doesn't have fear. Bunny rabbits don't have fear. Humans don't have fear. So if you run across, you're down in Africa and you run across a lion or a pride of lions, you can go over there and using your vibrational ability to communicate now, you could go over to that pride and sit down and vibratorily speak to them, in a sense, and they'll speak back. So what happens on Earth that's different than 3D, 4D, you'll be able to interact one-on-one with all of the entities that you've been living with and pretty much ignoring your whole life. So, and your all many other lives. So now that is open to you. So you're going to be able to interact and talk to beings that have been on the planet Earth for thousands of years, to a butterfly whose life is over in a very, very short time. I think it's a month, isn't it? Something like that. Or a fly, one of those fruit flies, I think they live 24 hours. But you'll be able to have that vibratory interaction with them, all of those beings that you've been living with. You understand? So you won't be building houses. You won't be buying food. You won't need money. All of that. By that time, you probably won't need to sleep anymore. You can if you enjoy it, at which point then you might build a structure to sleep in. You might. Like I've said before, people will come together and you'll create something that you can have a party, someplace you can have a party, but nothing can be in fear. So you can't walk around and just smash whatever you want to smash. So most of them, I think that's really why I tend to fly more where I go, so that I don't hurt any being on the planets that I go to when I'm not in human form. So yeah, I think most of the time, from what I can see, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll create kind of a little cushion for their feet when they're walking or running, and so their feet don't ever hit the ground and smash any kind of bug or ruin their home or whatever. But you will be vibrationally tied to all these beings. You'll know that they're there. So you don't step on things, you don't eat things, because you can hear them, you can talk to them, you can feel them in your soul, and it's so much more than talking, because this is vibrations here. So you will get all of the nuances of every sense that these animals have. You will be very, very close to your first butterfly, your first wolf, your first, name a dangerous, your first cobra. You'll be very, very interested in these conversations that you have, these interactions that you have with these entities that have been on 3D Earth. Now, if you stay there, and let's say that you're good with, I don't know how long I'll be in 5D, but if I hang out there for a while, I want to have long, silver gray hair and be about 500 to 700 years old, kind of laid back, kind of finally slowing down. I guess this is probably a dream, since I don't even know slow down, but let's say that I do. And I slow down and I'm in this rocking chair, rocking back and forth, and all of the 5D children are sitting around me, and I'm telling stories about what 3D was like. Okay? You guys are going to be the ones that, when you go to 5D, you're going to be teaching the entities that are there. They're going to be teaching you how to do 5D and beyond. You're going to be teaching them about 3D. There'll be a lot of entities in 5D that are planning on going down to 3D. So you can help share with them the experiences that you had. That's very important here. So as you move up and out to back to where you came from, a lot of them are coming back. They're coming in to go down, and they're not incarnating on Earth, but they will be incarnating on planets that are very much like Earth, with some tweaks. With every one of them has a little tweak here and there compared to Earth, and a lot of them will be doing that. So you will be doing teaching as well. You will have helped Mother Earth get to 5th dimension, far less painless, far more reduced pain, and you're coming up to go home, all you star seeds, but also the people that are around you, the entities that are around you in 5D, you need to ask them if they have any questions about 3 and 4D, any advice as they go down there, and what it was like. As you get your memory back, what it was like. So try to remember how it was when you were in 3D, 4D. Don't lose those memories. Don't lose those memories. You will be considered a very wise soul that you went there and that you survived to tell the tale. And it'll be extremely impressive if you're in this body now and you go screaming through 4D and you end up in 5D. That is what they're really going to have a lot of questions about. But there will be a lot of questions to you about 3D, because it is somewhat of a, can I do this moment? So you can just tell them your truth. from your perspective, and that's it. Okay? Alright, guys, that's it. Leave comments if you have any questions, and I love you bunches. Big, big, big hugs, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now. Here we go.